it, so we'll force them to do this and force. But the reason why it's coming together now is the failure of government. You know, they've been in the education business at the federal level for 50 years, and look at what's happening. Money goes up. We elect Republicans to cut the Department of Education. They expanded. They've been in medical care for 35 years. Medical care costs have gone up. The quality has gone down. On and on. And the typical example of our government, how it works, is taking a look how they took care of the Katrina victims in New Orleans. Not very good, and they spent a lot of money, and it's not rebuilt yet. And the first thing they did when they sent the feds in there to take care of it, they took the guns away from the people. Yeah. And the property owners weren't even allowed in there to protect their property. So things are turned upside down. Instead of your privacy being protected, instead of us really protecting the internet and our phone conversations and the things that the Constitution is written to protect, the main thing they worry about in Washington is how they're going to protect secrecy. You know, there was a debate here going on. They're trying to exempt those individuals who participate in giving the government information against the law. They want to write law retroactively to excuse them for breaking the law. And somebody else argued the case, well, we have to excuse people who have tortured, because how are we going to get people to torture if they have to be responsible? Yeah, well, I read that today in the paper by a former member of Congress. Fortunately, he's a former member of Congress, and he lost because he had some of these views. So that might be the testimony. But they want to protect that type of thing on government is supposed to run our lives. And I know you understand that philosophy, or you wouldn't be here. But the important thing is you are the campaign, and nothing happens without you. And I hope you don't get too tired or too cold. I'm allowed to get tired and grouchy at times. And sometimes I get cold because I forget my coat and things like that. But the ideas have driven me, and I'm so delighted that there's a generation like you coming together and really care and willing to put your effort into this and, you know, go out there and do this work. That means you truly believe. Nothing happens without truly believing. I do believe ideas have consequences, and I am also quite sure that the statement by Victor Hugo saying that you know, armies can't stop an idea whose time has come. I just believe the time has come. The burden has fallen on your generation to make the difference. You've been given a bad deal. You've been given debt. The erosions of our liberties, the foundations have been removed. The Constitution is hanging by a thread. The dollar is hanging by a thread, and there's a tremendous burden placed on you. And if you do nothing, you're going to be working a long time to pay into Social Security and medical care. You're not going to get a cotton-picking cent out of it. So the answer is truly found in liberty. If you have your liberty and you have your right to keep what you earn, believe me, if we honor the principles of sound money and free markets and personal liberty, believe me, you can just work hard. It won't take long. We'll all be back on our feet again. But I do think we're going to get poorer as a nation because the debt has to be paid one way or the other. It's not paid by working hard and literally paying it off. It's paid or defaulted on. The debt will be taken care of through inflation and these different sources. But the standard of living will go down. It has gone down for a lot of people already, and that's why there's a concern about the economy. So there's a tremendous burden. So the thing is believe in it, have fun doing it, but do it out of self-interest. There's nothing wrong with that. I do it because I want to live in a free country. I want my kids to live in a free country. I want the prosperity of freedom. So there's something okay about not succumbing to the tyranny of the state. Your self-interest, and that is all right, and that is important. You protect the freedom for your self-interest. It also means you protect freedom for those who don't even care. So it is important that we do it. Freedom is the issue, and I'm so glad I can come and visit with you, and thank you for all your enthusiasm. Thank you very much. I'm going to do a 1-hour interview over the telephone. You know, have a town hall meeting over the telephone. You can get literally thousands of people online. So I won't be here.
Doctor,
pardon me?
The FDA is trying to take away my cancer care and my stroke treatments.
I didn't
And,
quite hear the question.
They've been trying to do that for about 30 years.
The FDA is
FDA.
trying to take away his
His
cancer.
cancer and
Oh,
stroke.
the interference of the FDA on allowing you to make and pick your
Right,
own,
and they keep banning certain cancer cures too. My
Uh,
latest one, I cured about 3 people of cancer. It's a Japanese preparation from
right.
mushrooms,
Alternative
plus rice
treatments.
bran
Alternative care.
from China.
Oh yeah, this is the whole thing. That's what we give up when we assume the government's going to always take care of us.
And
You
I
give up
wonder
your-
if you had a magazine or a paper that you distribute. I'd like to join your
Right. Well,
I
my
like to
position
put it
on
in
this
the
is we have to protect freedom of choice. That doesn't mean that even as a physician that I have a doctrinaire answer to all these choices, but what you need is freedom of choice. But today, even it's up to not only our national level, but the WTO wants to control all these medications and alternative care and the choice of your doctor. And if it's not conventional wisdom, they want to take that choice away. So you need the marketplace.
I had 424 treatments so far over 26 years.
Right.
Well, many people in this audience
I
here
got
are
your,
very
literature.
aspirations of getting involved in public policy, getting involved in the government, and trying to basically carry this message on further. Do you have any suggestions of people, to these students on how they can get involved, not just in a grassroots level, but actually involved in their city, local, state, federal?
Okay, that's good, because I get that question a whole lot, and sometimes it's from people who aren't interested in a philosophy. They come to my office and they like the idea of being a congressman, this sort of thing. I don't think your motivation should be an office holder. I mean, that was the least of my interest and my concern. The issue that you should be thinking about is if this message, and obviously it is, attractive to you, is to read it and study it and understand how you don't have to come across as lacking compassion when you defend free markets. Because if you're truly compassionate and care about our fellow man in the world and peace, you have to understand these issues. So it's not, you have to learn and study and learn how to present the case and the explanation so that we come across as the people who really care. And that to me is the most important thing, is to be well educated. And then where you go from that, there's no one answer. Some people might want to go into academia. We sure need people there because they don't teach this too often. Even the average teacher in a public school is not well introduced, to the Constitution. And so whether you're a public school teacher, a private school teacher, a parent, or whatever, you take it and you use this information. And then be available to people, offer your services. And when you have the answers and there's respect for it, people will make use of you. And it might be in think tanks, it might be campaigning for a candidate, that's important. It might be becoming a candidate. But if you set your goals as I want to be in politics, and then you say, tell me how you raise money on the internet, it's the wrong way. Matter of fact, so many of the politicians are coming to me in Washington, tell me how you do it, how do you harness the internet? It doesn't work that way. I mean, you have to have a message where the internet harnesses you. It's completely different. And, there's a job out there for you, but not every single person in this room is going to run for office or work for somebody in office. But there will be a role. But the most important thing is know why America has been so great and why we have been prosperous. And really, I think one of the most important things is studying foreign policy to counteract the bad interpretation of our foreign policy. Because I think our side, our message is easily sold. Because generally, the person who argues for peace even wins when they're planning for war. I mean, think about Wilson. I'll keep you out of war. Roosevelt, I'll plan you out of war. He was planning for war. Even George Bush, what did he run in 2000? A humble foreign policy. Oh no, people love this message, and they're disgusted with us not following through. So this is a real task because right now there's a bunch of people in the Republican Party who don't want to let go of what they've been defending for 6 years, and because they're frightened to be said, well, I'll be seen as not being patriotic and un-American, not loyal to the party. Well, we have good Republican traditions about being opposed to the war. I mean, we have the old right, we had the Robert Taft position, and many who defended this position. And, I mean, even Nixon, won in '68. He was supposed